Andrew Garfield. This, after opening him, I will only have one left to track down. I still need to get a Tom. I don't have one yet. I want one. I have not got one yet. But I will. I saw one that I could buy. He's sitting at right around 40 now. So it's not that I can't afford one. It's just that I have not bought one. That's really about the gist of it. I just have not bought one yet. But let's open him. Let's add Andrew Garfield to the shelf. And before I even open him, I know without a doubt this one's staying in the collection. This one is, this is what I want. This is my choice. This is what I want. So this time I will actually mute the mic while I open this, so you don't have to hear me cutting it and moving it and everything else. Andrew Garfield. We have Andrew Garfield. Here he is. And when this camera, and that's another thing about doing these live, that I'm going to have to either get a new camera or start getting used to the idea that this won't be as perfect as the main camera back there. But he does look like Andrew Garfield. It looks good. The likeness is pretty solid. You gotta hand it to Hasbro. That's right. I said Hasbro. I didn't just say Marvel Legends. You gotta hand it to Hasbro. Hasbro seems to do very, very good likeness. Like, they really nail it sometimes. And when they're on point, man, they are really on point. The hair is solid. It's big. It's kind of poofy. He really has it, man. I'm telling you. It looks great. It absolutely looks great. It looks like him. Oh, did I get good clarity there for a second? It looks like him. Okay? This Spider-Man costume, in terms of on-screen Spider-Man, this is the best. This has been the best. And I understand the final swing. That looked really good. We haven't seen it yet. A single frame doesn't justify anything yet. They may not even use that costume. Let's just be honest about it from the get-go. Until Tom wears that costume in full live action and we see him do more than just swing by the camera once, it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. I love the idea of the final swing suit, but we have to see it in action first. Then I will make a determination. As for right now, this is the best Spider-Man suit that we have had. I mean, it is just... This was Spider-frickin-Man. Like, right now, he does have the web shooting hands. That's what he started with out of the box. He does have a punching hand. And he does have a hand. It's not a climbing hand. It's not a grabbing hand. It's some kind of expression. I don't know what to tell you this is. I'm going to call it an expression hand because, yeah, that's what I'm sorry, that's what I got. The webbing it feels raised. Like, it feels like the webbing is sculpted. That is good. That is really good. And of course, all this is not just plain. It's very much that etched feeling material. Poor Garfield, he barely has a butt. He barely has a butt. I'm curious how crazy we can get here with him, because these Spider-Men have actually had a bit of a problem. they haven't moved all that well. When I opened Toby, he didn't move as good as I would have liked him to have moved. He's on my shelf still because he's Toby, and the figure looks good, especially at the price range he was at. But I would actually consider him under par to the current run of Marvel Legends, just so we're aware of that. And I imagine that the first swing is probably going to be the same. And this guy feels like he might move very well. He's got good butterflies and things like that. But he's also given me a little bit of trouble in the upper torso already. I can feel it. Because like here, I'm trying to get a decent swing, right? Something that really brings his leg up and out. Kind of like forward. I want his webs. I want him to pull up across his leg. Something like that, right? That's what I'm kind of trying to make happen. And he's really fighting me on it. I can get pretty close, though. This guy feels like he moves better than Toby did. And maybe that's fair, because Toby was a little stiff as Spider-Man. So maybe we leave that alone and we call it movie accurate. I don't know, to be fair. But I got to see the full look. This head will probably go in a box and only be used for photography purposes. Because in reality, when I put a Spider-Man on the shelf, I don't usually use the Peter Parker head. Like, I have like 4 or 5 Peter Parkers at this point, and they just don't really go on the shelf like that, because that's not what I'm interested in. Holy crap. Put your head on, Spider-Man. Is that, wait, do I have it on? There's no way that ball joint is really acting crazy. I probably should have brought some water up. Without being able to heat up this ball joint here, this is a very, very, very tough fit. So I don't know if I'm going to get to show this to you right out of packaging. Yeah, I don't know. That's really rough. That's real rough. Okay, so without water, this head is very small. I mean, it is very small. It does not want to go on here without a lot of force. Oh yeah, it's the head. 'Cause you just watched me in real time put his head back on and nothing. No problem. Nothing. Let's try this again. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. This head needs heated up. Like, this needs to be heated up to go on there easily. It does not want. Ugh. Crap, did I just get it? I think I got it. Wow. Okay. That was very, very rough. Like, it was very rough. If you get one of these, it almost hurt my wrist. You want the truth of it. Like, that, I'm dead serious. There's a little bit of pain right here. Like, that almost hurt my wrist to get that head on there. Have some water ready. Have some hot water ready, which really, I guess, for this kind of thing, you always should. Normally, I have a hairdryer, and sometimes when I'm actually filming, and I'm not doing the live show, what I will sometimes do is when I need to flip parts or something, I will go and I will lay these parts out on like like the bathroom sink or whatever, and I will take the hairdryer and I will go across them a couple times. Woo! And then once I have it, where I feel like I've got it just malleable enough, just a little bit. I don't want it too crazy, but just malleable enough that none of the hands or anything will give me any problems. Then I'll come and go on camera and be like, all right, here he is, and I'll put him down, I'll talk about him, I'll boop, boop, and put his parts on and off and whatnot, and we'll be able to look at the different heads and whatnot. That didn't happen here because right now I'm just doing this live, and I did not bring water up or anything like that. And boy, I'm noticing I probably should have with him because that was crazy. But there he is with his tiny spider head. Tiny Spider-Man head. It's tiny. It really is. It's like, it almost looks weird. Like, doesn't he? Am I imagining that? Does his head seem small? Like, I mean, he certainly felt small when I was trying to put it on. But like, maybe it's because his hair, with his hair all big and everything like that, this head is so like big. But like this, it's kind of bizarre. And it's not like, I mean, it's on there now. It's not like, you see what I mean? It's not like it's not placed right. Like, this is how far down it looks. This is him looking up, which I would argue is not necessarily good for a Spider-Man. I feel like you can kind of pull it back, but I feel like Spider-Man heads should be able to look up because you got to get that swing and you want to get that crawling and whatnot effect, and you're not going to get that with him. He's not going to be able to take that kind of a pose, which I imagine will still be fine. I'll still find some cool ways to display this guy, but there he is. Andrew Garfield, Tiny Head Spider-Man. That's what I'm going to call him on my shelf now. This is Tiny Head Spider-Man, and I've added Tiny Head Spider-Man to the shelf, which leaves me only the final swing to get, and then if nothing else, I could put them all on the shelf pointing at each other, or whatever. I could do that. I could do something goofy, but for what it's worth, he was good, man. And I still swear by this. I still would tell you that Tobey made a better Parker. Garfield made a better Spider-Man. I had trouble believing him as Parker. No trouble believing him as Spider-Man in this costume. This was the best movie costume that they have done as far as I am concerned. Period. But there we go. He now has been added to the shelf. And I have my complaints, but I'm willing to overlook them for what this is. One could argue that if I want a definitive version, it might be time to invest in something like Mafex or something. But for right now, I wanted these. Marvel Legends released them, and I wanted all three of them from the Marvel Legends collection. It's just what I wanted. And you could argue that was stupid. I wouldn't argue against you if you said so, in all honesty, because I very blatantly see the problems in quality, because I do not believe that he is up to the current level of quality inside of Marvel Legends. I mean, look at the Spider-Mans that we get from Marvel Legends and tell me that this guy is on par with that. He's not. But I don't hate him. And maybe that's a nostalgia thing. But in a way, that's partially the reason we collect things anyway. So I don't care. I am happy to put him on my shelf, in all honesty. It will not bother me at all to have him on my shelf. And to have a new Andrew Garfield head.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.